practically speaking, is a spirituality with a principle of family. Now this holds true on our Schoenstatt family, but it also gives a special accent in our educational and our pastoral work on families. See, that means we would not so much emphasize the parish, we don't deny it, it's there, but we'd rather emphasize the family and the group, the smaller units, in order to specify them better. See, all of that can be considered. But now let me say something about families. What I observe, first of all, I observe here in India, there are strong family bonds. People are really, in an admirable way, embedded in their natural family. And even if there is conflict in the natural family, they still are clinging to it, they are attached to it. The detachment, the liberation out of family bonds is by far not as much as advanced as you find it in the West, for instance. See? So that is there. What you find also is that the family has a nice interplay, sometimes also critical interplay, between the actual natural family and the clan. That means the family and relationships is much stronger. See, I observed this. So many of ours, if they go on vacations, what do they do on vacations? They're at home and then they visit the relatives. Go around and visit relatives. This is the definition of vacation, visit relatives. See, this is unusual for a Westerner. See, you wouldn't do it like this. So this is there. And of course also now with mobile and everything, you have contact with family all the time. If you don't call, something is wrong. So you get called, whatever it is. So that is a strong concern. But I also observe is that often in family there is a lot of economic concern, a lot of business calculation, which I understand from the tradition. See, but of course it determines often family life very strongly. It determines the question of marriages very strongly. And so that is something, it has to be observed, but something where inculturation, and not only coming from Schoenstatt, not only coming from the West, but in the country itself, something has to be changing because the economic situation changes. See? Then of course I observe very strongly that sometimes there is strong dominance also. For instance, the bride moves into the family of the bridegroom, and then often there is the strong mother and makes the young wife quite a bit suffer in it. This is also there. The bond is there, but it is expressed like this. See, how can you go against the authority of the mother, of the husband? See, then what you also observe is that there is a male dominance. In many marriages, still a male dominance, and this is not maybe outside of Christianity even stronger than within Christianity, but it sits in the culture. It is there. So these are elements. Strong bonds, family and clan, which is the positive side. The negative side is that sometimes there are economic factors or there are dominant factors which of course also create burden on a family. Now, where's the complementation of our spirituality? I said the first thing in our complementation of spirituality is the formation of the individual. That means to give the individual a proper value. You give the individual a proper value in the sense of identity. That means identity includes male and female, for instance. That we'll have to do everything to educate that our girls become women and our men become men, and that they relate also in the sexual differentiation as well as complementation. That would mean that would have to come to a formation of families which much more emphasize partnership between husband and wife. And that, there I would say the element is giving time. This is something you cannot change by just saying it. You cannot change by just announcing it. You have to gradually work towards it, and particularly with those who are more open for it. Women who have much more an awareness that I am a woman and that I'm a partner. See, that I would support. That I would support. And also the men who are more concerned about their wives and who like to be complimented. This is I would very much support as example. So it might be a process of generations to do that. Besides, male dominance in all cultures always has been a little bit. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. The feminine, and therefore also the women, in our society as a whole, worldwide, is in the foremarch. It's coming. It's coming, and they have to pick it up and try to inculturate this as a complementation of it. So it's the personal formation, it's true partnership, and within there would be also the question of arranged marriage. As soon as you give individual value to a person, the more they come to a personal ideal, the more they come to the capacity to choose, the more they come to this autonomy we have been talking about, that I want to determine in freedom what is my life. The more in an important decision like the decision of my life, whether go to a religious community or go to this community or that community, or whether I get married and with whom I get married, has to be given to the individual more and more. What I would say as a complementation from the culture is that it be accompanied, that the parents feel responsible and accompany it. See? And the economic question, our father used to say, but of course this is a statement more to the West, he said, any young couple should have their own house. We know economically this is often not possible, see, but there's such a truth to it, see. If they have their own place, I mean, sometimes also our Indian families do that, they add something or they have a section which is themselves, I don't know more of the details, but I would say it should be something to be aspired, that a family have their own unit. Then they relate to their relatives, to the clan, not out of the clan, but within the clan. But it has to be an independent unit, see. And if this would be given, and if then due to modern education, husband and wife would contribute both economically, then dowry system becomes obsolete. That also is something I believe that would have to be done away with. Inculturation would also mean to have mutual partnership, or you share, see, or you share. Both relatives contribute to the marriage, give something, help something, get them off the ground, but not put the whole burden on the woman's side and let the parents and the relatives of the bridegroom be the beneficiaries. The young couple should be the beneficiary. Why not? See? Then it would be a different thing. There, I would feel complementation from a different understanding of family would be in question. To close this, in Burundi, which at least at the time when I was there, and even now, the culture is much lower than our Indian culture, much lower. See, in Burundi, a young man could only get married, choose his wife or get his wife, that's independent, if he could do things. First of all, to build a house, which means their igloos type of house, see, to build a house and to have enough money to give a new, wonderful, good dress to his bride. These two things he had to have. Otherwise, he could not get married. See? And I believe there's a deep wisdom in that. That means from the male side that they have their own house, where they begin to live, where they have their own children, and that he gives a sign of appreciation to her, to kind of adore her, to decorate her. See? in order to embed her deeply, in order to show that he is the protector of it. That is from another culture. Element like this, I believe, also as complementation to the strong, very good family tradition in India, could be introduced as complementation.